Alright guys, so if you are someone who actually cleans your home on your own, typically you might actually look for a robot vacuum, or you might look for a wet and dry vacuum. Now in today's video, we're actually going to check out Dreame's latest and greatest sort of like flagship wet and dry vacuum, and it's called the Dreame H14 Ultra. Now it comes with a couple of cool features on its own, so without further ado, let's just jump into the video and check it out. Now first things first, let me just share with you a little bit about the unboxing and setup process. Now it did came in a fairly large box, but the entire setup process was very simple. It takes only about 5 minutes to put the handle on the device, charge it up and start using it. But what I liked was that even the cleaner fluid was actually included in the package, so you actually have a very comprehensive package, and everything that you need is actually provided in the box. Now let's talk a little bit about how it feels like to clean your house, clean your living space. Now first up, the main feature about this particular device is actually in terms of its suction power. So Dreame says this is one of their strongest one yet. It is 20,000 PA, so it's actually very strong at sucking up all kinds of dirt from your ground, regardless of whether it is wet or dry. Now there's actually 4 different kinds of modes that's available on the device itself. Now first up, we do have the auto mode, which actually allows the device to determine what kind of dirt is on the ground, and then it will adjust its own suction power. Now the second mode that we have here is actually called the suction mode, and just like its name suggests, it's mainly about sucking up dirt, wet or dry, without actually mopping the ground. Now the third mode that we have here is actually called the ultra mode, and that is actually for more tougher stains on the ground. So it actually uses the maximum power to actually clean up your floors to ensure that it is sparkling clean. Now the final mode that we have here is actually called the custom mode. Now for this, you can actually connect your device to the Dreame Home app, and you can actually set up the exact amount of power as well as how wet you want it to clean the floors directly from the app itself, and it's actually fairly easy to do that. Alright, so how does it actually feel like to clean up the dirt on the ground? Well, for this I actually came out with a couple of items to test. So the first one that I did was to spill like some kind of Milo powder on the ground, and I tried to vacuum it up very quickly. So the trick to do this really nicely is to go over it slowly, and then it will actually be able to suck up everything without any issues. Nice. Now the second one was a bit more challenging, so I actually spilled a couple of cereal on the ground. And again, for this, the trick is once again to go over it slowly, because you don't want to just push everything away, since this is a handheld wet and dry vacuum. But yeah, it was actually able to suck up everything without any issues. Now the third test that I did was actually a liquid test, and for this, I actually spilled some coffee on the ground, and I think that's actually pretty simple. It doesn't really have any challenge, it's too easy. Any vacuum can do that, and so can the Dreame H14 Ultra. Now the last one was actually sort of like a sticky situation kind of test, where I actually put some peri-peri sauce on the ground, and I actually rub it against the ground to create an even more sticky situation. And for this, it was again able to suck up all the dirt on the ground and actually go over it, mop over it to make sure that it's clean without any smell and all that. So yeah, great for that in terms of the cleaning. Now I also noticed during cleaning that I was actually able to do the edge-to-edge cleaning, so it actually goes very near to your walls. Just in case you have dirt aligned across your walls, you can actually suck that up very easily with the Dreame H14 Ultra. Now when it comes to cleaning, I think another very important part of it is all about the experience. How does it really glide on the ground? And for this, we actually do have those glide wheels on the sides that actually assist you in going forward and backwards, so it just makes it a little bit more effortless when you are carrying the entire thing around filled with water. You don't want it to feel heavy, so the glide wheels are there to actually help you out with that. Now another very clever small touch is actually in terms of the lie flat kind of cleaning. So say for example, if you have sofa, you probably have a sofa at your home, and if you just want to clean the bottom of your sofas or at the bottom of like your cabinets and all that, you can actually lie flat the entire device and go underneath those sofas. And the very small thing, a very nice detail that I noticed here was that there's even an extra wheel attached to the device itself. So when the vacuum itself is lying flat, you can still glide across on the ground very, very effortlessly. I think that's a very nice touch, and that's not something that I've seen on other handheld wet and dry vacuums. Good job to Dreame there for that. Now, so that's just in terms of the cleaning process, but once all that is done, how do you actually clean the device? Now for this, it's actually again fairly straightforward. You place the entire vacuum onto its stand, and over here you have 2 options in terms of how you want to clean your brushes. So for the first one, it's up to 100 degrees Celsius. Now this actually uses really hot water to remove all kinds of dirt and grimes on it. So if your brush is really dirty, you might want to go with this. However, if you are just doing your daily kind of cleaning, you can just go for the second option, which is up to 75 degrees C, and that will actually help you to clean the brushes without being so extensive. Now, when it comes to drying the brush itself, it actually uses hot air drying just like most devices, and it takes about 5 minutes to dry the brush Now it can get quite loud because there's a lot of hot air going through, but Dreame has actually added in another option where you can actually have it done very quietly, although it will take a slightly longer period of time. So let's say you are going to sleep at night. Once you're done with your cleaning, you put it on the dock itself and you choose the quiet mode, and it will clean up your brush quietly. Now before we go, two more things to take note of here. If you are living with someone who drops a lot of long hair on the ground, or just hair for that matter, you don't have to worry about it getting tangled up in the rollers itself because of the way it's designed. The scraper is really near to the brush itself, so whenever it rotates, it actually cuts through all kinds of hair that gets stuck through it. So eventually there's no hair stuck at all, and it won't cause your roller to actually jam up. And in case you're wondering about the battery life, now the device itself will last up to 40 minutes. So let's say you are cleaning your living space, just take note about that, 40 minutes, and it takes about 4 hours to charge up the entire system. So that's basically what you can expect from the Dreame H14 Ultra. If you're looking for the latest and greatest handheld dry and wet vacuum from Dreame, definitely I would say you should check this out. There's a lot of clever tiny touches on the device itself that makes it a bit more user-friendly to use at home. Now with that said, thank you for watching today's video all the way to the end. Don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Do take care, stay clean, bye bye.